In the fall of 1967, a college town in Michigan began to change. Not visibly, not all at once, but in the way that small towns change when something terrible happens and people are not yet sure what it is. Ypsilanti, Michigan sits just west of Detroit, home to Eastern Michigan University. Nearby Ann Arbor is home to the University of Michigan, one of the most prestigious universities in the country. In the late 1960s, these were safe, vibrant college communities. Tree-lined streets, coffee shops, students walking to class, the kind of places where the worst thing that usually happened was a parking ticket. Then the bodies started appearing. The first victim was Mary Flessar, 19 years old. She disappeared in July of 1967 while walking near her apartment in Ypsilanti. Her body was found a month later in an abandoned farmhouse, badly decomposed. She had been stabbed repeatedly. Investigators had little to work with. No witnesses, no forensic evidence of any value. A terrible crime in a community completely unprepared for it. Then it happened again. Joan Schell, 22, vanished in June of 1968 after being seen getting into a car near the University of Michigan campus. Her body was found days later, stabbed multiple times. Again, minimal leads. The region grew frightened. Young women on both campuses began traveling in groups. Parents called their daughters more frequently. Campus security increased. Investigators from multiple agencies were working the cases, and still, nothing. The murders continued. Jane Mixer, 23. Marilyn Skelton, 16. Dawn Basom, 13. The youngest victim. Alice Elizabeth Calum, 23. Karen Sue Beinman, 18. 7 women in less than 2 years. All in the same geographic corridor between Ypsilanti and Ann Arbor. All killed with extraordinary violence. All cases with almost no forensic evidence connecting them to a single suspect. The killer, whoever he was careful. He was also, by all accounts, hiding in plain sight. John Norman Collins was 21 years old, a junior at Eastern Michigan University. He was charming, good-looking, athletic. He played on the university's hockey team. He was the kind of young man that parents approved of when their daughters brought him home. He rode a motorcycle, which made him seem adventurous rather than threatening. He was also, investigators would eventually conclude, one of the most methodical killers Michigan had ever seen. The break in the case came from a small detail, almost absurdly small given the scale of the investigation. In the summer of 1969, Collins had been house-sitting for his uncle, a Michigan State Police sergeant named David Leake. When Leake returned home, his wife noticed something disturbing in the basement laundry area. Paint had been applied over the floor, and beneath the paint, when investigators examined it, they found hair clippings that matched hair from Karen Sue Beinman, the final victim. Beinman had been seen alive getting onto the back of a motorcycle with a young man matching Collins's description. She was found dead shortly after. Collins was arrested in August of 1969. The trial was one of the most closely watched in Michigan history. The prosecution built their case on the hair evidence and witness testimony placing Collins with Beinman. His defense argued the evidence was circumstantial. The jury deliberated, and after hours of deliberation, they returned a verdict of guilty of first-degree murder. John Norman Collins was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. He has never confessed. He has maintained his innocence for over 50 years. And in a case defined by questions, one of the largest remains unanswered. He was convicted of killing Karen Sue Beinman, but the other 6 murders were never formally charged. Whether Collins killed all 7 women, or whether another killer operated in the same area during the same period, has never been definitively established. In 2004, DNA evidence linked a man named Gary Leiterman to the 1969 murder of Jane Mixer, one of the victims previously attributed to Collins. Leiterman was convicted of that murder in 2005. complicating the narrative that Collins was responsible for all the deaths. The truth, in other words, is still not entirely clear. What is clear is this: 7 young women lost their lives in a 2-year period in one of Michigan's most beloved college communities. One man was convicted of one of those murders and is still in prison. The others remain, in a legal sense, unresolved. John Norman Collins is currently in his late 70s, incarcerated at the Thumb Correctional Facility in Michigan. He has been denied parole multiple times. He continues to maintain his innocence. The families of the victims have never stopped wanting answers. Some have them, some do not. This case is a reminder of something that true crime often makes us forget. Convictions are not the same as complete truth. A courtroom can establish guilt beyond reasonable doubt. It cannot always explain everything that happened or bring full peace to the people left behind. If this case stayed with you, please subscribe to Verdict Files. We cover new cases every week, and your support helps us keep telling these stories. Hit the like button, drop a comment with your thoughts, and share this video with someone who follows true crime. Every share brings more attention to cases that deserve it. We'll see you in the next case.